Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is the Big Girl Diary. I got a good one for you today. But before I do, let me do my intro. I like that intro. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like the beat. I like the rhythm. Yeah, I just like it all. But alrighty. Now, this video right here, Illma Gore is the brains of the operation. That's what I believe to be true. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I think I may be right. I think I may be right. Now, this is why I say this. Now, many of you on Twitter or even here on my comment section call Illma Gore a grifter. Okay. Keep in mind, a grift is when you get something from someone and they are unknowingly, and they give it to you. It takes talent. It takes talent. Not many people can be grifters. And if they are, there are different levels. Not all grifters are good grifts. They need to work on it. But I'm not saying that Illma Gore is the best grifter. But I must say that she did a pretty good job, in my opinion, allegedly, possibly, supposedly, could have helped Evan Rachel Wood to turn her head in certain situations. Now, in other videos, I also had said that Evan Rachel Wood spoke, told Illma Gore all the stuff. And sometimes when you're feeling sad and blue and you tell a friend how hurt you are about a given situation, and then they want to go off and save the day. I'm going to go slay the dragon, that terrible person. But I said in other videos, it doesn't matter what Illma Gore did. She did it at the behest of Evan Rachel Wood. She wouldn't know these things if it didn't come from the mouth of Evan Rachel Wood. Now, having said all that, I do believe that Illma Gore is the brains of this operation, and I'll tell you why through the exhibits that she put forth that I have. Now, keep in mind, she brought in 8 exhibits. Six of them were kicked out. Now, the second exhibit and the 8th exhibit, the judge allowed in. I'm sorry, the second and the 7th. I do apologize on that. I want to make sure it's correct. Now, here we go. Now, to make sure that you understand where I'm getting this information from, this is from Illma Gore, and it's Ilma's special motion strikes. And before we even get into this, I want you to know what they're using, judicial notice. So what this is that in the law of evidence, and exhibits are evidence, the power of the court to deem the burden of proof to be established as a particular fact without introducing the evidence because the fact is one of the matter of common knowledge or is readily demonstrated by reference to source of unquestionable authority. So as we go through this, you're going to see where the judge says, okay, yeah, it's a matter of fact, but the unquestionable authority part, it's questionable. It's very questionable. So, cookies, when I get done with this, we're going to do a deeper dive of each exhibit. Some of them are very long, so I'm going to have to condense it into all of the important elements. So just want you to make sure that you know that. Here, I'm just going to give a broad view of what it was and have somewhat of an understanding why it was booted out based on the uh, judicial notice. Okay, so all this is based on that. I'm not a lawyer, layperson, so whatever I say, take it with a grain of salt. Okay. Okay, now I found this very interesting. I emailed a plaintiff's counsel to advise them that Miss Gore's intended to file the anti-SLAPP motion on primarily the same grounds as Miss Woods. So quite interesting right there. And the reason why I'm saying that she's the brains of this is because she's mimicking everything that Evan Rachel Wood is doing, because Evan Rachel Wood is fighting for the money that she has, and Illma Gore is sort of going behind her, I believe. Okay, so with motions, and I participated in a meeting to confer with the plaintiff's counsel, Marilyn Manson's lawyers, on 19th, and we were unable to resolve issues raised in the motion. So this is why there were so many hearings, because they could not hammer out or agree to what they wanted. So this is one of the main things. So I'm glad this right here information was brought out. Okay. Now, here is Exhibit 1 that the judge said no to, was an article in the Rolling Stones, Marilyn Manson, The Monster Hiding in Plain Sight. Come on. And the judge was like, nah, that is so biased. So biased, calling a man a monster and all this other stuff. But if you were to go into the article, and then you got Rolling Stone, so you got to say, is this, let me bring this back right here. Is that a source of unquestionable authority? Here, the second exhibit, which the judge kept. Check this out. The Phoenix Act, the California Phoenix Act. Now, Evan Rachel Wood went to California State Assembly, told her story, and had other victims of DV and other S abuse and other types of abuse. Women were speaking and telling the state authorities these issues. Now, even though that they have laws on the books already, Evan Rachel Wood was like, okay, but we need to extend these laws to like 20 years, because some women have been, or some women and men are also have been abused too. So we just can't just say that it's just only women. No, men as well. But in this case, Evan Rachel Wood was like, well, okay, this happened to me 10 years ago, and I wasn't able to speak my truth. Now that I have the power to do it, keep in mind she got married and all other types of things, but I'm not trying to throw no shade on other individuals. No, it's just her. Please don't take what I'm saying wrong. Just her, Evan Rachel Wood. And now she wanted to push it back to 20 years. So that's a whole generation. It takes you a whole generation, Evan. You're trying to push it back to a whole generation, to where you get into something when you're 20 and then you go through it, and then you want to wait until you're 40 or 45 to say something about it. That's no. In my opinion, no. They give you a 6 years to be able to bring up and bring up charges and then to go through the motions. All right. Okay, 2 is in, 3 is out, but check this out. Exhibit 3, AP News article, Marilyn Manson home raided LA County Sheriff's in sexual or S assault investigation. So Cookies, we're going to get into this, okay? All right, Article 4. The judge threw this one out as well. The article in Rock and Roll, or I'm sorry, Rolling Stone, Courtney Love dishes dirt on Rock Girl Conference. And and uh, Illma is taking any and everything to say, hey, this is evidence. This is my proof. This is my proof. Okay, Illma. Okay. What was this say? All right, 5. The judge also put this one out too. It's a video, Marilyn Manson Dinner of 5. And here's the second part to it. And it's the Dinner of 5, the last accessed May 24th, 2022, last year. Now, and specifically the transcripts of the discussion related to groupies. And this is what Illma Gore, what they're fighting over. Well, Illma Gore was able to get that one out on Marilyn Manson's point, and she was able to successfully to get herself out of that situation because the judge had a hard time putting Evan Rachel Wood and Illma Gore in a conspiracy to do harm to Marilyn Manson. Like, did they move? Were they meeting up? Did they come together and have this plan to go after him? So the judge wasn't able to connect that, and Marilyn wasn't able to prove that. And Illma, as slippery as she is, was able to say, yes, I talked to, can't remember the lady's name, but yeah, I had a conversation with Ever Rachel Wood. She did see it, but I don't quite remember what we talked about. My thought. Okay. 6, the judge also kicked this one out. Okay, Groupie, partially found, late 1990s, short film by Marilyn Manson, available on, that's the website. So the judge was like, nope, unreliable. Well, not unreliable, but okay, I'll just keep unreliable. Okay, Exhibit 7. This is the one that the judge kept out of the 8 exhibits. Now here, okay, Marilyn Manson, which has been edited to identify the portions of the complaint defendant Gore moves to strike. Illicit notice of a motion file concurrently herewith. So, Marilyn Manson, his lawyers edited just to keep everything into one, just keep it small, because if they were to show everything, it would be a long, drawn out video. So they condensed it to keep it short, get to the main points. And the judge was like, okay, Illma, we can use this. Okay. It has, what is it? Okay. Keep it. Now, here's the last one that was thrown out. It was a web page entitled Ladina Slosky. It's available on, and I have to go through this that Illma put in as evidence. What exactly does Adina Slosky have to do with this? But cookies, we're going to find that out. So, I said in a previous video that I was going to track down what were the 8, oh my goodness, what was it? The 8 exhibits, that Illma Gore presented, and 6 of them were thrown out and 2 were kept. So now we know exactly what they were, and we see the flimsiness of her exhibits to try to prove, yeah, I did this and I am not liable for what I said because I believed it. And this is just me, projecting my thoughts. Like Emma would say, well, I believed my girlfriend, and I believed that all these things happened, and I wanted to make sure that I took care of my girlfriend because I loved her so much, and I just saw her in a bad state, and I just wanted to help her. So yeah, I did call, the police, and I did swap Marilyn Manson, but it was based on what I heard, and my heart just so hurt for her, and I just wanted to alleviate whatever pain she was feeling. I'm not saying she said that. This is just what I'm projecting out there. Okay. Now, based on all of that, based on all of that, Ilma being a grifter, I'm not saying she's the greatest grifter, but I am saying that she's removing herself from some of the situation that she finds herself in with Evan Rachel Wood, and she's able to move herself away from the groupie part. But it doesn't mean that Evan Rachel Wood is free of it. It means Ilma's free of it, and that for them um, to make that connection because Evan Rachel Wood did view it. She knew about it. She helped plan it. All of those, she was in the middle of it, and all of a sudden that's being used about him being around the playground, Kedio Light Filer, around the playground. So, on that note, what do you think?
I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you did. Because whether if I'm talking about court cases, like Johnny Depp or Marilyn Manson, whether if I talk about big girls, big guys and their delusions of grandeur, of it being okay for being big and everybody gotta go according to it, or whether I'm talking about celebrity mess, Amber Heard destroyed her life. Whether it doesn't matter what I'm talking about, but I want to thank you because you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Time is something that you'll never get back. Please help continue supporting me. Keep on subscribing. I'm past 1,000. I am so grateful. Continue to help me to grow to get to the next level. Time is something that you never get back, and I hope that my videos were worth your time. I want to thank you for stopping by.